In this week's video, I want to talk about using the laws of the universe, the laws of manifestation, laws of attraction, whatever you want to call it, to grow your business. And the reason why this is important is because this is the easiest path to growing your business. And it makes things much easier. It brings things into flow, makes the process enjoyable, and makes things happen much quicker than if you are going against this, which I think is much like trying to row your boat upstream, right? We much rather row our boat downstream and have things go easy and flow well than to try to go against the current. And this is really what happens when, instead of going against the laws of manifestation, we use that in our favor. But for a lot of us, this can be a little confusing because we may have read books like The Secret or, watch things on manifestation or laws of attraction. And sometimes it can seem a little like out there, and we're like, okay, great, but how do I actually apply this to my business and to my life? And that is what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about the things that I really see a lot of coaches doing that are taking them, I would say, upstream or uphill, and what you can do instead to go downstream and make things easier for yourself. So what do I see as far as when it comes to coaches and what they're focusing on? So a lot of times coaches are focused on what they don't want, and they're focused more on the fears that they have. So things like, I don't want to fail. I'm focused on failing, right? Not failing. I'm focused on not making mistakes, not sounding foolish, not receiving criticism, not getting rejection, not being humiliated, not having people say no to me, not having someone say, oh my gosh, you're charging that much for your price for your coaching services. So when you look at this, you can see that you're focused on the things that you do not want. Okay. And that is what happens to a lot of us. We're really focused on what we don't want. But what happens with the laws of manifestation is that what you focus on is what you get. So if you're focused on what you don't want, that is what you get. Okay. Tricky, right? And this is what a lot of our brains automatically do. Our brains are always looking to protect us and keep us safe. And so they're looking for the things that we don't want. It's kind of like trying to get away from the lion, right? Or trying to get away from the bear or whatever it is out in the wild when we were cavemen and trying to protect ourselves. We're always out there kind of looking for danger, looking for the things we don't want to stay away. And that's fine when you're trying to survive out in the wild. But when it comes to actually creating the life you want and being a creator in your life, that is not going to serve you because you're focusing on the things that you do not want. So what we want to do is we want to shift that focus so that we can use the laws of manifestation in our favor and focus on the things that we do want. And this is just really a matter of retraining your brain. Like I said, many of us are focused on getting away from the things we don't want or avoiding those things. And instead, you just want to shift to what do I want and focusing on that. Okay. So first of all, you need to be aware of your focus. Are you focused really primarily on the things you don't want? Become aware of that. Like, that's the first thing that you need to do. The second thing is getting clear on what you do want to focus on. Like, what do you want? And for this, like, a good way when it comes to your business is, I like to say, what are your whys of starting your business? And we really have two whys. We have the personal why for us and our life, which has to do with having the freedom we want, having the time freedom, the location freedom, creating the money we want, being able to do work we're passionate about, but also another bigger purpose why, which this really has to do with the impact that we make on the world. So making a big difference in the lives of helping other people, really being a light in the world. Like, those are kind of your bigger purpose whys. So you really want to be focused on this because this is going to give you the direction you want to go. If I'm focused on making a big impact and, creating a successful business so that I can have the freedom I want, then I am going in that direction and I will be guided by my intuition to take actions that will lead me in that way. Whereas suppose if I'm always thinking about, I don't want to fail, I'm going to be guided in the direction of failure because that is what I am thinking about. Okay, instead I'm thinking about making a certain amount of money or getting a certain number of clients or making a certain impact, then that's what I'm focused on, and I'm going to go in that direction. It's much like if you put something into your GPS, right? Like you put it in your GPS, it's going to take you there. This is the same concept. If I'm putting failure, even though it's not failure, into my GPS, that's where I'm going to go, because that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm focusing on. If I'm putting, getting 5 clients into my GPS, that's what I'm focused on. And that's the direction that I'm going to be going in. Okay. Let me know if that makes sense, but it seems like a little shift, but it's really a huge shift. But it's your mindset and your focus and what you're focusing on, right? So we want to focus on the things that we want, not getting focused on the things that we do not want, okay? So when you are focused on the things you want, you can trust. This is a huge piece of it. You need to trust and let go of knowing how everything is going to work out. So a lot of times if I'm like, okay, I want to get 5 clients, then your brain is like, how are you going to get 5 clients? How's that going to happen? What are you going to do? What steps are you going to take? And it's like crazy, right? You're like, I don't know, settle down. Okay. You can't know exactly how it's going to work out. Like to get to where I am now in my business, if I look back at that, like I would have no way of knowing what that path was going to look like, because there's been so many different turns and so many different things I've done. I didn't know how everything was going to work out, but I just trusted it, took action, and it has brought me to where I am today. And you have to do the same thing. You just have to trust and take inspired action, because when you are focused on what you want, you will get that inspiration. You will tap into your intuition, and it will guide you on what actions to be taking. Okay. And then you got to let go and trust and take those actions. And you will continue to be guided to take additional actions. So it's much like if you're driving down the road and you can see, only so far down the road to like the horizon point, right? And it's the same thing like when you're taking action in your business. You can only see so far in the future as far as what those actions are going to lead to, but then you have to keep driving further forward to see further down the road or further down the horizon, okay? And it's the same thing. You can't know like, oh gosh, what is the whole path going to look like? How's it all going to work out? So you really got to let go of those hows, just take that inspired action and trust that when you're focused on what it is you want, that you will be guided in the right direction and that things will work out. Okay. And the next piece is persistence and grit. And I like to put those two together, because the truth is, even when you are getting guided by your intuition and you are trusting your path, you are going to have failures. You're going to have disappointments. You're going to have things that don't work, because this is a learning opportunity to redirect and to go in a different direction or to do things a bit differently. Okay. And so if each time you have something that doesn't work out exactly how you want to, if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure, it's not working out, everyone's going to laugh at me, you're going to quit, or you're going to go into this big mental drama, and it doesn't serve you. Okay. Like it's part of the process, and you're like, okay, awesome. This didn't work out quite how I wanted it to. What can I learn from the situation to help me do things better in the future or differently so that I get a different result in the future? Okay. So it's all learning opportunities. And when you can start seeing it that way, then you don't have to be so scared of things not going exactly how you want them to go, because let's just face it, that's life, right? Like it's never perfect, smooth sailing and everything goes exactly how you want it to. And there's no bumps in the road or things that don't go right. Like that's just not how life works ever. So you have to be willing to be persistent and to get gritty and keep doing things even when it feels uncomfortable or when you don't get the exact results you want, in order to keep moving forward and taking that action to get the results you want. Okay, super important piece of the puzzle. And the next piece is just getting support. You obviously are watching this video because you want to be a coach. And if you want to be a coach, you should understand how important coaching is and how valuable it is. And this is the thing. That's coaching for you. Like it's very valuable as far as getting feedback, getting support, having accountability, having a community to really support you in these things that you're wanting to do. Specifically now we're talking about a business, but it's very challenging to do things in a vacuum with nobody there to support you, nobody there to give you feedback, nobody there to answer your questions. And so I do believe support is a very important piece. I am almost always working with a coach myself ever since I have started my coaching business, because I find it very valuable. And sometimes that coaching is around business, and sometimes that coaching is around stuff in my personal life or around health or whatever. But once again, I see the value in coaching and getting that support, and that's a big piece as well. So these are really the steps that you can take to dive into using the power of manifestation, the law of attraction, really in your business to make things smoother, easier, more fun, feel better, more flow into things. And I highly recommend that you do this. And like I said, awareness around this is really key, and it will make a huge difference for you. So I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Did you find this video helpful? What was your biggest takeaway? Let me know. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you want new videos like this. I post new videos each week. And if you want to dive a bit deeper into the steps of growing a successful coaching business, boosting your confidence, getting your first clients, you can sign up for a training that I have right below this video where I walk you through that. It's a video workshop. I walk you through all the steps, and I know you'll find it super helpful. So you can click the link below this video and check that out. And I want to thank you so much for joining me in this week's video. I will see you next week.